Hello, you beautiful people of YouTube land. Right, so I'm coming to you from the future. So this episode, part 4, I'm introducing it now because originally what you've seen in part 3 was going to be one complete video right through to the finish and to the paint, but it got too long, it was too much footage, so I broke that down. You would have realised part 3 just sort of ended without me giving an ending. So now we're going to pick it back up where I was and we're going to get straight into it. So welcome to part 4 on Project ONO. Good morning, welcome to a new day. Right, I've just done some stitch welding along there and there because the spot welds had popped and I don't want to weld from inside or drill the spot welds out. I've just gone over the top, so finish with that. Right, this panel I've cut off what I didn't need. Now I've spent quite a bit of time deciding on where I'm going to cut to. So the dilemma I had, we got a slight kink here, so I wanted to be above this line, but the further up you get into all these creases and all of that filler in, which is just going to get more complicated. So I've gone through here, stayed under that dip and above these, so we're going to go with that, and I'm probably coming back about here somewhere. So what I'm going to do now is offer the panel up, we're going to put it on and we're going to mark where we have to cut the car. Don't know how much of that you saw when I put that panel over, because when I got back the camera had fallen over. So I've scribed my lines here and here. I know that I could have put that on, cut through the two panels at the same time, but this is the way I prefer to do it. So I'm going to cut through there, rip it off. We're ready to offer that one up. Hopefully the camera won't fall over this time. Right, so that's not a bad fit. I need to do a little bit of tweaking some of the cuts at the edges, just pushing the angles off a bit, but pretty happy with that. Right, so this is where we are at. A little bit of tweaking on this corner to get the line, but we'll sort that out as we weld in. And here, this is going to just come over as I'm pushing the joints here, so this will close up a bit. We're going to put a backing plate behind there, so I'm not at all worried about that. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is pull this off. We're going to cavity wax all behind, spray, clean this up and get ready with a weld through primer. Start welding. Right, so what we're doing now is this is cavity wax spray, and it comes with a nozzle, and on this nozzle then, instead of firing straight ahead, it's got jets that go out. So we're going to go into all the holes where we welded up behind you and fill it with some wax. I may have squirted too much up there, but you get the idea. Look at this running everywhere. Once we get the outer panel welded on, we'll be doing exactly the same and we'll flood it behind. So I'm probably going to have to let that run its way down and go off before we can do any more. I didn't expect it to be as runny as that, to be honest with you. But at least we know it's getting all in it and it's going to do a good job. That's messy stuff. Right, so I've cleaned this area up now. We're going to spray over. The main thing is I want this just to get a good coating of some epoxy primer. I've masked this off because when I'm going to be welding, I don't want to get any of that primer on, and I'll be putting weld through primer then once I peel the tape off. So I get some epoxy on it, and then I'll probably put a bit of Amorite silver over it that I've got because it's going to be hidden anyway. Right, so we are ready to put the panel on. I've got some reinforcing pieces here so I can weld against and back against here. Down here I've actually just used cut-offs of the metal thin strip, tacked them in so they'll give me something to back against. We touch in here. I might have to just add one here actually, just on this corner, but other than that we are ready to go. So there we have it. As you seen, I spent a lot of time getting all the critical areas in line here, all of the corners. If any dips are low on the flats, then you can sort it with filler, but definitely wanted all the corner points. Now this side didn't go as well as up there. The weld through primer was horrible, and because it was on the strip underneath, it was just not making the welds so nice. And here trying to do these spot welds without weld through primer was just terrible. But I got this one to do, spot weld that, and then we're gonna grind him back, clean him up, see how he looks. So that is it, grinded back. I am absolutely over the moon with that. Nice dose of filler over the top of that, and that's pretty smooth. You can see a little, what looks like a crack line, but it's not, it's just the edge of the weld where the disc is spinning that way. And there's a slight dip in a joint. It's not cleaning that out, and I'm not going to go too deep because that is pretty smooth, it's all in line. So just a nice little coat of filler, and that is gonna look amazing. I'm chuffed with that. Right, so that's what I'm gonna do now, start cleaning up. I'll tidy up my mess and we'll start prepping to lay some filler over the top. That's the filler sanded back. There is some imperfections in there, some little spots of the welds are showing through. I fillered it twice. I really could do with some glazing putty to finish it. I don't have any at the moment, so what I'm going to do I'm going to get some primer on it. I want to get some epoxy over the metal for the night. I have some I-build primer. I may try a couple of coats there, see if I can get the imperfections out. If not, I'll just have to sand it back and put some glazing putty over it tomorrow, but I don't really want to leave it bare metal for tonight, so that's what I'm going to do now, get a bit of primer on it and go from there. This was as far as I got last night. I did primer it all over and I did a couple of coats, wet and drying it with a high-build primer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish it with an 800 and see how it looks. Peel all this off. I put that masking, the gaffer tape on there, because when I was lifting the door on and off on my own, I didn't want to chunk up this metal. So we've got to get that off and then start wet and dry. And then we'll go over with some more primer before we start painting. Right, so what I'm going to do now is flood all this with seam sealer. Right, so I've lavished the seam sealer on there and I'm just waiting for it to dry off. I used a brush and a wet brush just to go over it, but the focus for me is not looks. I know I don't look pretty, but I'm going to stone chip it. I'm more concerned with paint protection, so I'm pretty happy that's going to do the job. So what I'm going to do now, when that's drying off, then move on to this. I put another coat of epoxy primer over the top. I'm gonna 1200 now and start 1200 in the lacquer. So we're gonna blend into this. Now down here, I'm not gonna be painting and taking all these scratches out because that's made by the skirt. So it's only gonna happen again. And to be honest, I'm not 100% confident I can do a good job on this. So if I don't, it's gonna go to the body shop. This is just a trial. So we're gonna 1200 this down. I'll probably take the blue, feather the blue into here, and then the lacquer further down, similar at the top here. I mean, this area here is not even lacquered by factory. The main concern is what we'll see in here, but we will lacquer it, but let's take the sand for now. Right, so now I've got some of this U-Pole stone chip, so I'm going to apply that all inside under there and just under the sill area. Right, so I've got the car all covered best I can. The biggest enemy I've got here is dust, so you see I have saturated everywhere, all the floors, the whole garden. It's the best I can do really. So what we're going to do now so I'm going to paint prep all this area. One thing to point out as well, I have forgotten to weld that, but I'll do that at a later date and just touch up the paint around it. I'm not going to weld it up for that now. So I'm going to prep and clean that, and then we'll be ready to start painting some base coat. That's the annoying thing of cheap cans. Look at all the spits that have come out of it. I might have to wet sand that back. Right, so I've flattened back the spots, which is really annoying. I'm not sure if it's because my finger was too far forward and spray flicks off the finger, so I have to watch that. I've just got to 4 coats and I was running low on the one can, probably had about quarter, so I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to a new can so that I don't get any spit in. And what did the new can do on coat number 4? Spit. Terrible. I don't know if you can pick that up. I don't know if you can see them in there. I'm heartbroken. I really am. Right, so what I'm going to do now, that's got to be flat back. I'm just speaking to Martin from Busby Body Shop, the one I mentioned on YouTube in the last video. I'm just trying to work out whether I need to flat the spots now and then put a base over the top, then lacquer, because I only want to get one more base on, or do I need to flat, or can I put another coat on and then flat just before lacquer? So I don't know, see what I gotta do, but it was going so well. We got 3 really good coats on. There you are. Go. Right, so base coat's all on. I've sorted out the splodges. I'm ready now to lacquer. I've moved this back a bit. I have 1200 grit to create a bit of a blend in the overspray here. And once we're all done with the lacquer, we're probably 2000 grit and polish. I say I haven't gone further up here with the colour to cover this, because where do you stop? I keep going and ended up doing the old can. Like you see, that's hidden there by the sill cover anyway, so at some point I've got to stop. So we're gonna now get ready, get some lacquer on. Look at that. That looks like it grew there. I am absolutely chuffed with that. I have got some orange peel, as you can see, but not worried about that. Next week I'll flat that back. Here's your close-up. I've also got some small amounts of dust in there, but what do you expect when you're outside? I can't get no better than that. Let's have a little reminder of what it did look like. So we've gone from that to that. I don't know about you, but I'm happy with that. Right, so I think we'll end this episode here. To everyone who has helped me through messages and advice, thank you very much. I couldn't have done it without you. This has been an amazing achievement for me. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.